Totally Football Show is going back out on the road again. Hope we do better than Liverpool do, eh, Sash? We're going to be at the Leicester Square Theatre in London, all of about half a mile away, with Duncan Alexander, Raphael Honigstein, and James Horncastle. If that sounds like the kind of evening you'd enjoy on the 4th of April, say, then get along to leicestersquaretheatre.com and snaffle up a ticket or two. Time to unleash the Sasha, listener. Brighton, Liverpool. Brighton 3. Liverpool 0, I should say. Sasha, at last you finally saw the kind of performance you used to enjoy from Liverpool, only it was from Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton against the hapless opposition, playing rings around them.
Now, pressing, aggressive,
reacting, finding solutions. I mean, after the game, De Zerbi went, so we started off. And Liverpool are effectively playing 3 at the back. We had to readjust, but my players are smart. So that's where we had the situation of Mitoma absolutely destroying that flank against Trent. Space behind Trent, also getting excellent help from his team. There was actually it was a lovely moment in the second half. There was like a relay that went down left-hand side. 3 or 4 players involved. I think there was a chance and there was a corner, but they just absolutely pulverized Liverpool there. And I think, Klopp after the game was saying, Klopp was so downbeat. I've never seen him like this, I think, post-match. But also he was saying it's possibly the worst performance of his entire career, not only Liverpool.
When was the last time you saw Liverpool that?
So Liverpool, immediately people think back to 6-1. Stoke, what should have been Rodgers' last game, and that was abject, but at least Liverpool scored in that. But I genuinely don't remember a game where Liverpool did nothing right, pretty much. They had a couple of counters in the first half. They had a little flurry after they put some legs on, the quadruple sub in the second half, where they pressed actually high up for 5 minutes and won the ball twice. And it's like, whoa, they competed. Liverpool just competed against Brighton. This is a big fall. So I think, unfortunately, the way from what we saw, it's almost like Liverpool are back to ground zero where they have to restart. Because I think when a hard pressing team falls, it falls.
I see. But one of the saddest aspects of how far Liverpool have fallen is that Brighton beat Klopp's side for the first time since when? 1990, in 62 years, and it's still only ranked 3rd on Match of the Day.
But I think you had to be. It's one of those games you had to be there.
Really?
Because the dominance was total.
Okay, well, let's talk about Brighton then, because you were pretty thrilled with De Zerbi.
I thought after the game was very, very impressive. I thought also he impressively talked about the Trossard situation, because look beforehand, Trossard scored a hat-trick at Anfield. He's quite an integral player, and they lose him just before the game. It's a controversy, apparently an altercation with another player, some disrespect.
So his quote was, he said, before the Middlesbrough game in the Cup, when he understood he wasn't playing, Trossard left the session without telling me anything, and that's when he decided. But you were saying there was something else behind it.
Yeah, I think there was they talked about something happening in the training ground, but I think overall, De Zerbi, he talked about the situation, but look, my door is open. This is an agent coming out, putting out the statements. I like the guy. Let's, come and talk to me. I saw that Spurs today are being cheeky with a 12 million bid for Trossard, which I don't think...
Chelsea will buy him probably now.
But Chelsea will probably buy him for 25 now. They just come up with the readies. But in Trossard's absence, I thought Mitoma, on the one hand, we just discussed how he destroyed Trent, but also Solly March on the other side, on the flank, but also... And in the middle of this whole thing, people talk about age. Adam Lallana, injury-prone 34-year-old ex-Liverpool player. And he was... But the thing is, he was the only old man there. There was other guys doing the running for him, which I think is Liverpool's problem at the moment. Too many old men.
Same thing we do with this pod, actually.
34 as an old man is just cut me to the core.
What do you think about me? But De Zerbi said, it was funny after the game, he was talking, so basically I told March and I told Mitoma 10 goals. And I'm on the case every day. 10 goals. Score some goals, score more goals. Solly March scored 4 goals this season already. He's supposed to score 10. He only scored 11 league goals in his entire career before this season.
Right.
So I think that's quite a high bar.
Brighton as a whole, they didn't score goals. That's
exactly. And this guy is all scoring goals. He has Gross at right back. So he's pushing attacking players further back so that he can take Stupinian Colwill. What a great signing from Chelsea. Well, he's a loanee from Chelsea. The whole thing works. I think the worst player there is probably the goalkeeper. But from Liverpool's point of view, it's ground zero. It has to. I think they have to say, look, midfield's too old. We can carry one of them, but not 3 of them. Of course, there's structures, injuries. Pressed us from the front, but the whole thing breaks down. It's like going back to Dynamo Kiev when they were slightly off. Speaking to a former captain, they knew it. and they knew they'll get beat. But they almost took it as a given that there's going to be a couple of seasons downtime, then we'll come back again. Right. This is going to be maintained all the time. You'd hope with Liverpool the surgery was more gradual, but they didn't do it.
Okay. The difference, I guess, with Lobanovsky's side was that the structure behind the team was always the same, remained constant, whereas with Liverpool this is very much potentially a time of change.
It's potentially a time of change, but also these days, players are fitter, they last longer. Science has moved on. Lobanovsky, 2-year peak. And then there was the drop-off.
If you were in charge of recruitment and also departures, who would you ship out from this side, Sash? Would Mo Salah be one of them?
No. I think the problem with Salah, I saw similarities with Torres against Everton under Hodgson in 2010. There's a striker somewhere over there surrounded by 4 defenders, and let's hoof the balls to him. And I think this is, from time to time, what Liverpool kind of resorted to. So I don't think it's his problem. But I do think that for this to work, the team has to run. So therefore, I think two of Thiago, Fabinho, and Henderson cannot play. I think because they have to be able to press in that midfield. Also, Matip got badly exposed, but I'm not sure it's quite his problem. So I kind of have sympathy with Klopp when he says, it's a structural thing. Yes, a pressing team, the whole thing has to work. 1 or 2 segments fall out, the whole thing collapses.
Right.
Okay, it is a structural thing, but at the same time, if you have players saying that the energy level is low, then you need to rise these levels. And if you bring out new players, I don't understand why Liverpool is so chilled during the transfer window. Because if you bring out new players and you bring this competition, then the energy levels, they change, especially for midfield. And midfield is key, especially for a team that plays in such a high pace and intensity as Liverpool always did. So I understand the Klopp's argument, but I think they should be more concerned in bringing new names, just to mix it up a little, just to change the dynamics.
I was here 2 years ago, getting old. They're getting old together. They're going to get old together. People like Sash, silly, but they got all together.
Yeah, no, and one of Klopp's arguments is that the same midfield or these same players, they already had really good performances, but we know it
long time ago.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
I think one of the issues, I think, is that when they rebuilt the first time under Klopp, generally with a rebuild, you start from the back to the front, and they did that by buying Alisson and Virgil van Dijk. This time they seem to have gone about it back to front, or front to back, should I say. They've got Diaz, Jota, Gakpo, Nunez, Salah, Elliott, Firmino. They've got a huge collection of strikers, and yet the running's not there to give them the chance to create the chances. And I don't get why they've done that so emphatically front to back rather than doing what worked before, which was building around 2 absolute defensive pillars or midfield pillars and building that spine and then moving on from that. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, we'll probably have plenty of other opportunities to discuss how things are going wrong at Liverpool as the weeks go by. This week they're going to be, in fact, on Tuesday at Molineux for the replay of that FA Cup tie with Wolves, in which they barely escaped with a draw last time. And then next weekend, oh my word, Chelsea. Liverpool currently lying 9th, Chelsea at 10th. This very much the stay in the top half derby. The Totally Football Show podcast is available 3 times a week, bringing you all the football news you could reasonably be expected to care about. We've got views, we've got stats, we've got analysis, we've got some of the best football writers around, and the whole thing is absolutely free. So have a listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or all the usual places by clicking on the link below.